Okay guys, I'm going to try something different with this video. This next video is going to be about how to identify the slope when given a line on a graph. This is one of the easier things that you're going to do with slope and y-intercept once you get it, but it's just all about getting it. So the key to finding slope, which is m, okay, is going to be rise over run. That's how we're going to identify the slope on a graph. So what do you mean by rise over run? Well, what you need to do is identify 2 points where the line is what I would call a grid crossing. In other words, you can see right here, there's a crossing there, there's a crossing there, there's a crossing there, there's a crossing there. Those are the points you want to look for because they're identifiable. So you can see right here, they've already identified this point is one that will be one that could be accurately read because it's crossing where the grids are crossing each other, and same thing here. So how much am I rising to get to this point? I'm going up 1, so my rise is 1. Okay, and then how much am I running to get to this point? I'm rising 1 and I'm running 1, 2, and that's my slope, and it's as simple as that. So then remember, your next question is, I'm going to go ahead and show how to write the entire equation, not just find slope. Remember, B is the y-intercept. Y-intercept is pretty self-explanatory. Where is the line crossing the y-axis at? Where is it intercepting it at? It's doing it at 0. This is actually a proportional relationship because it goes to the origin. But the y-intercept is 0, which basically means we don't have one. So my entire equation for this one is y equals 1/2 x. So you would say, okay, well, why is there not a plus or minus number out there? Again, because our y-intercept is 0. We just don't write plus 0. Okay, that's not a good look. And yes, you could rewrite this as y equals x over 2, because remember in the last video I told you this is the exact same thing. Okay, so let's try another one real quick. I'm going to move up to number 3 here. Okay, again, what we're looking for is 2 grid crossings, 2 points where the line is crossing, where the grids are crossing each other so we can identify them. That would be here and here. This worksheet was nice enough to identify the points, making it easier for the video. Let me see if I can zoom in just a little bit. Okay, so you can see right here, I'm going to start from this point. How much am I going up? I'm rising 1. Remember, m is your rise over run. Okay, let me move that over just a little bit that way. This is not easy. Bear with me here. Okay, so I'm starting from here. How much am I rising? I'm going up 1 so I can get to this point. So my rise is 1, and then I'm going over 2. So I'm rising 1 and running 2. So again, we have the same slope, y equals, or m equals 1/2. And because we can't see where the line is crossing the y-axis, I'm not going to worry about what the full equation is. So for this problem, I'm just going to say the slope is 1/2. And how do I know that? Because we rose 1 and ran 2. So let me go to one where we can identify it. Let me go over here to number 2. Now, if you notice on number 2, this line is going down. So this is going to be a negative slope. So what is that going to look like? All right, again, how do we find slope? It's rise over run. So your question would be, well, we're not rising, we're actually going down. And that is obviously where the negative comes in. So I don't know what my slope is yet, but I know it's going to be negative. Okay, so starting from here and going to here, I'm actually going down 1, 2, and I'm running 1, 2. So really, they could have bubbled in this point. It's every one of these. So what's actually going on here is it's going down 1 and over 1, down 1, over 1, down 1, over 1. So my rise is -1, negative because I'm not going up, I'm actually going down, and then I'm running 1. So -1 over 1 is just going to equal -1. That's my slope. Okay? And so from here, where are we crossing the y-axis at? It's this point right here, and that is 1, 2, 3. Let me say that's the origin, 1, 2, 3. So B is going to equal -3. Again, where is the line crossing the y-axis at? It's crossing at -3 right here. And you can see this is the center of the graph. So right here is the origin. So we move down from there, 1, 2, 3. So my y-intercept, in other words, where I'm crossing the y-axis, where the line is crossing the y-axis at, is at -3. So my y-intercept is -3. So my entire equation is y equals -x. That's my -1x for slope. We just don't write the 1 next to it. But for the sake of the video, I'll go ahead and write it there. So it's -1x. That's my slope. And then my y-intercept is -3 or -3. And there you go. So slope is all about rise over run. Slope on a graph is all about rise over run. And as far as y-intercept, you just look and see where it's crossing the y-axis at. So I'm going to do one more here. Let me pick a good one. I think this one will do just fine. So once again, line's going down. We know this is going to be a negative slope. M is rise over run. But we're not rising, we're going down, so that's going to be a negative slope. They gave you 2 points here. So this one, I wanted to show this one because this one's going to be, the rise and the run are going to be bigger numbers. So how much am I going down to get to here? It's 1, 2, starting from here, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down. And then how much am I going over? 1, 2, 3, 4. So my slope is -5/4. Okay? And then where am I crossing the y-axis at? In other words, what's the y-intercept? I'm crossing at -1, right below the origin. So there's my equation. It would be y equals -5/4x minus 1. Y-intercept, that's where you cross the y-axis. Here's your slope. Rise over run.